I had no intention of killing Eustace myself. It was not in my nature to do such dirty work. I needed someone else to do it for me, and the law of the land would be the most satisfying executioner. It was notoriously difficult to persuade peers to condemn one of their own to death, but the recent case of Lord Ferrers, hanged for murdering his steward, had proved it was not impossible. So I could hope, and if that proved fruitless, then there were other ways. But before any of them could take effect, I needed Eustace to come home. To pass the time as I waited, I painted every hour of the day from dawn to dusk. It became an obsession with me. Sometimes I forgot to eat or sleep. Occasionally visitors would call, and I told Pound to turn them away. I had no interest in seeing anyone. The social round held no curiosity for me. I was possessed, engulfed in the experience of the art. Sometimes I would take up my easel and paint box and strike out across the fields in search of new ideas. I worked until my arms ached and I could no longer hold a brush or pencil in my paint-stained fingers. I did not understand what impulse it was that controlled me, nor did I like it very much, but I could not behave any differently. It was the same sensation that made me so passionately determined to bring Eustace down. On the inclement days, I went to the little dressing room that I had had converted into a studio. The light poured in through the stained glass windows and reflected off the high white plaster of the domed ceiling, shining down on me as I worked. The ideas came easily, too fast for me to capture them as quickly as I would have liked. It was a blessing and a curse at the same time to be so inspired. One day, when the rain was pounding on the roof and running like tears down the window, I became aware that the light in the studio was fading so badly that I could no longer see clearly, even though it was only 3 in the afternoon. I put aside my brush and reached for the rag I used to clean the paint from my hands, standing a little stiffly, for I had been at my easel since the morning. On the threshold, I stopped dead. The room ahead of me was in bright sunlight, yet a fire burned fiercely in the grate. It felt airless and stifling, and I felt the sweat spring up on my skin at once. I did not recognize the arrangement of the furniture, or the decoration of the room, or the paintings on the walls. But over the high back of one chair, shimmering in the light with a soft golden glow, was my gown. I started forward towards it. "Pound! Where the hell are you, man?" I almost jumped out of my skin. It was Eustace's voice. He was sitting before the window, almost hidden by the high curved back of a wing chair, and he did not appear to have seen me. On the table in front of him stood a bottle of brandy. "Pound!" Eustace roared. "Damn you, get in here now and pour me more wine." Then I saw the girl. Small, young, hurried, dressed in some outlandishly short frock that barely covered her knees. She darted forward from the shadows, grabbed the golden gown, and ran, fumbling to push it into some sort of bag she was carrying over her shoulder. I heard the sound of her feet slipping and sliding on the wooden floor. I could even hear the sound of her panicked breath, loud in the silence. "Madam?" Constance's voice came from the doorway through to the drawing room. "Is there something the matter?" I turned to look at her. I was still standing in the door of my studio, and the room beyond was exactly as it always had been. Eustace was nowhere to be seen. There was only one thought on my mind. "The golden gown," I said urgently. "Where is it?" I saw a frown touch her eyes. No doubt she thought me quite mad, and perhaps I was. All that was important to me was that the girl I had seen had not run off with my gown.